Dr. Nabisa and fellow friends, I would like to introduce our interviewee, which is Ms. Ting Che Eng. She is a UPM alumnus who majored in Bachelor of Guidance and Counseling Teacher. She serves as the Guidance and Counseling Teachers of SMK Bandar in Tulu, Sarawak since 2000. Ms. Ting get the counselor license from Board Counselor Malaysia LKM. Number registered counselor is KB00304. She is also one of the member of Pekama.
As we know, Ms. Ting is a guidance and counseling teacher from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Bandar Tulu. She started her career as a guidance and counseling teacher in May 2000. Until now, she has been working for over 22 years already. At the same time, she is a very experienced teacher at the school, and her role is to help with family and psychological problems from students at school. In interview section, Ms. Ting introduced her professional field of study is guidance and counseling in UPM. Years ago, Ms. Ting's interest was to become a counselor, even if it was not popular at the time, or if Malaysia did not realize that counseling was essential in people's life. However, she is still true to her original intention of becoming a counselor. In Ms. Ting's opinion, a lesson for the world of Counselor Malaysia is very important to prove herself. In addition, Ms. Ting also let us know at the time she started as a guidance and counseling teacher in secondary school, the word lesson is not compulsory, but if there is an interview of counseling session, there is nowhere to get more information to client. So we can imagine that the lesson is not only a certificate, it is whether you are able to trust and counseling your client or not. Last but not least, Ms. Ting also say, beside the lesson, the statement of practice of substantive statement is essential too, because without this statement, we will not able to counsel client in clinic of other field.
As for choosing to be a counseling teacher in secondary school, Ms. Ting said that the main reason is because of her personal interest and ambition to become a teacher. Secondly, it is also because Ms. Ting has the idea of being able to teach, educate, and help people. In her opinion, not only academically, but the psychological development of the students themselves is also very important. Therefore, for Ms. Ting, who wants to develop in social fields of education, went to take the Professional Counselor Certificate of Lembaga Counselor Malaysia and often attended many counseling-related conferences so as to be better able to utilize the school counseling teacher's professional identity, helps these secondary school students, especially those who are facing adolescent stage, family problems, or psychological health issue. Moreover, Ms. Ting also shared that as a counseling teacher, she must use different theories and knowledge in a targeted manner when facing different clients, which is secondary school students. She also said that as a counselor teacher, it is not only difficult but also impossible to adhere to a specific or only one method and theory. This is because when providing counseling services to clients, they must know how to observe, analyze, and understand which kind of knowledge and theory is suitable for their particular client. The most important thing is that although most of her clients are all secondary school students, this does not mean that they are all the same. And this kind of same treatment needs to be avoided in the face of various cases. In addition, as a professional secondary school counseling teacher, it is also very important to have sufficient knowledge, reserves, and constantly updated sensibleness with the recent generations. It is because of her 22 years of work experiences, she said that her rich and innovative knowledge can make it easier for her to integrate it with her previous experiences when facing various clients' cases and know how to apply more appropriate theories.
According to Ms. Ting, she doesn't focus on any technique in which she will compile various techniques depending on the conditions of her clients. Sometimes, maybe one of her sections doesn't apply any theories of techniques because they are still in the stage of building report. Ms. Ting will look at the suitability which, if it is suitable for the theory, she will apply during the counseling sessions when contacted with the clients. There are also some of the clients who don't want to apply for a section but are just asking for her point of view. Therefore, it is not 100% to apply a theory of techniques in a counseling session in which she needs to look at the conditions of the clients. Next, Ms. Ting is ready to understand that Malaysia is a multiracial country, and if multiracial, they are multiculturals. When she does counseling sessions for her clients, she must understand the culture inherited by the clients. She must know their cultures and the way in which she communicates with the clients. Sometimes, the language Ms. Ting uses is not acceptable to certain ethnic groups. The more important is a counselor have to understand and they have to respect all the ethnic groups that cannot argue with other people's cultures.
According to Ms. Ting, in the past, when people did not know much about counseling, society did not accept counseling service very well. They thought that people who will go to counseling service were people with no mental health problems. In such a society, people are ashamed to seek help from a counselor. They are afraid that society will think they are mentally ill. However, people who go to counseling service just want to get a different view of how the counselor sees their problems to help them solve their problems and reduce their distress. With the development of society, people's awareness of mental health has also increased, and nowadays the acceptance of counseling service in Western society is also very high. In Malaysia, although people are not as resistant to counseling service as before, the acceptance level is still not as high as in Western society. Ms. Ting believes that an effective counselor is knowledgeable and about counseling and competent. A good counselor is also a good listener who carefully listens to their client's problem and issue in order to provide different perspectives and ideas to help the client solve the problem. Furthermore, an effective counselor should have the desire to help the clients. The most important thing is to be able to empathize and show empathy with the clients, which is extremely important for them. Clients can find a lot of comfort in a counselor's ability to relate to them on an emotional level and comprehend how they are feeling.
Firstly, for the interview, Ms. Ting said one of the important skills for counselor is establish the rapport with client. Therefore, the mood and the tone of mind of counselor is important. The counselor should also be professional in digesting her emotion and not bring them into the counseling session. If not, he will give the client a bad impression and he will not share the problem he faces. So we can see that the emotional control skills are the key point in the building a rapport between the counselor and the client. Ms. Ting also said that the listening skills are very important because this is the first step in understanding, assessing, and guiding the client. The counselor should be listened effectively and make the eye contact. This because they will make the client feel listened to and understood by counselor. This will motivate the client to continue telling their story. In addition, the counselor can use the reflection and conclusion to close the day session to ensure that this is an effective listening session. Last, we know that the communication skills are also important because the counselor has to talk and guide the client through the problem. If the client do not speak, the counselor can start by talking about an important topic, what the client has eaten today, and the next step is move on to the topic that the client facing. Ms. Ting faced the challenge when he first started working as a counselor. He was the first counselor at the school. At the time, people do not understand what is counseling and why counseling is important. And the school was not even have the counseling room. At the time, some teachers also thought that going to a room discipline would improve the student attitude more greatly, and the counseling was not effective. But fortunately, the principal of the school was very supportive and understanding of concept counseling, which allowed the school to have the first room counseling, and now the counseling is very popular.
The current issue related to counseling service in interviewee setting include parents not allowing their children come to school because pandemic COVID-19, but the Ministry of Education does not assess this excuse. Then, student-led moral values such as family values, respect, and etc. The next issue is nowadays generation live in a virtual world, even cause lacking communication skill, more distracting behaviors, etc. The training or course in the field of counseling while working in the setting now taken by the interviewee include International Counseling Conventions 2022, Collaborations Program, International Webinar, Drug Prevention Educations, Webinar Bicara Profesional Penyala Dada Peringkat Kebangsaan, Webinar Counseling National, Studies Seminar My Health Anxiety Disorder, Edition Sustained Use and Recovery during the COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia, Increasing Resilience during the COVID-19 pandemic, Khusus Counseling, Jaga Emosi, Jangan Biar Cedera, and etc.
The next question is, what are the challenges of being a counselor during the pandemic of COVID-19? According to Ms. Ting, one of the challenges is the way of having the counseling session with her clients. During the earlier pandemic of COVID-19, school management decided to shut down whenever there is only one cases happen in the school. So, when the school is locked down, Ms. Ting will conduct the counseling meeting session by using online platform such as Google Meet, Zoom meeting, or direct phone call to clients. When there's cases happen in a class, the whole class of the student must be quarantined in a hotel. So the student will feel very stressed and tensions. So as a professional counselor, Ms. Ting need to provide some psychological counseling and motivational session for their students to appease their negative emotions. The last question is, what is your advice to students who wish to venture into this field? Ms. Ting believes that there are some students who are willing and have the interest to serving in society, and they can choose counseling as their major to pursue their study and use their profession to help the people who need counseling services. And it is because the development of field of counseling in our country is still not ideal and is not yet accepted by the public because of some prejudice and stereotypes. So the student who choose the counseling as their major can develop counseling areas in our country more advanced in future. Ms. Ting also believes that studying a major in counseling can help students understand themselves and others more better, regardless of whether they will eventually become counselor or not. Lastly, Ms. Ting believes that learning should be endless. Study counseling, we know more better and some different areas of the knowledge in our lives and improve our ability and wisdom.